So my Discus just came in. They're a little stressed out right now from traveling from San Jose to here. Just got 3 bags of them, about 30 or 35 of them. Definitely looking forward to this. So here are the Discus over here at my brother's house. I'm gonna sell a couple to him, but I'm keeping most of them. And here is the 150 that I set up for him here. And I have a video that I was gonna put out of how we put this all together, the stand and everything. Probably still gonna put that out pretty soon. But I figured while I'm here, I'd show a quick bit of this, because this tank turned out pretty awesome. Got some nice pearl scale, gold angels, some black angels, all kinds of. And I'm going to be bringing over some of my angels I've been breeding also. But this video is about the Discus. I'm really excited about these guys. Alright, back home now, acclimating these guys. So the backstory behind these guys is that a customer came in and mentioned that their friend had bred all these and wasn't able to sell them, didn't really know who to sell them to, and was running low on room. So I spoke with them and they said they wanted to shut down the tank. They had all these guys in it, and so we wanted to rehome them, and I ended up coming to a very favorable agreement where I hooked them up with some stuff and got these guys at a very, very low price. And then they look pretty awesome to me. I can tell, you know, they're not the best shape, but still, these guys are awesome. And I've actually never really kept Discus before. I deal with the ones at the store all the time, and I've bred plenty of other similar fish. So I'm giving these guys a try. And also, I always say that you need to quarantine, and since I'm taking all these fish in at once without too much warning, I'm actually currently catching out the last of the fish that are in here. I decided to move everybody from here into another tank and just give this tank to these guys. That way I wouldn't have to worry about quarantine issues. And one more thing, if you're wondering about the cloudiness, I'm actually having issues with the substrate is breaking down, and it's been a complete mess lately. And I was gravel vacking a bit of it, which I never gravel vac in these planted tanks, but it really kicked up a whole lot of it and made it even worse than it's been. So I've been trying to polish the water, but it hasn't quite gotten back to normal yet. Hopefully these guys won't mind. And yeah, back to catching out the last few of these other guys, and then these guys can have the tank to them. So they're in here. A lot of them are kind of hiding, but hopefully they'll adjust, and hopefully I can get this water cleaned up pretty quickly, because I'm definitely excited to have these little guys, and I hope they do well. So I noticed they did seem a little scared and stressed out in their new environment, so I went ahead and turned the main light off. I also added a whole bunch more plants that I'd taken out while prepping the tank to give them lots of cover, because Discus definitely need a lot of places to hide and stuff. They were trying to hide behind all the rocks I set up, and I thought I'd give them something softer, some plants. So I'm going to check back in tomorrow morning, and hopefully they settle in nicely. One more thing I wanted to point out tonight, with adding a lot of fish to a tank, you don't want to mess with the bioload and the beneficial bacteria that the tank is already set up for. So as adding that many fish, that's why I left that tank fully stocked up until today, and just about before putting in all the fish. I then took all the fish that were in there and moved them to other tanks. So the tank has already been cycled, fully cycled, and used to handling a similar amount of fish. Because if you just add a ton of fish to a tank, even if it's already cycled. The bioload, like, it just can't handle it. So I just wanted to make that clear and make sure you guys don't go thinking it's okay to just add 3 bags of discus to a tank all at once. It's been about an hour, and as you can see, they're definitely all out and about and much happier now. So looks like turning off the light to let them acclimate better was definitely a good idea. Hopefully everybody will be happy and safe through the night. And whoa! Alright, we got a little aggression, so I gotta keep an eye on that. So it's the next morning, and they seem a lot happier and more comfortable in this tank, which is definitely awesome. Happy to see no deaths. Everybody's settling in nicely. The only problem, I really should have taken the substrate all the way out, especially with the young discus. You have to feed them so much and do a ton of water changes, but yeah, it's just going to be extra work. And also the water's still a bit cloudy because of, you know, all the substrate. But I guess that's just a little extra work. I like to keep it planted anyway. So hopefully things keep going well. Alright, so I just got back from working all day with Zenzo Tsuzawa from Tsuzawa Tanks. We're just, I was helping him out on saltwater tank work. I just came back, and all these guys seem to be settling in pretty nicely. One thing you want to make sure you keep them at a higher temperature. I got these guys at about 83 right now. They definitely like it warmer than your average fish. I'm definitely happy I got these guys, and they're doing quite well. But yeah, you're gonna have to do a lot of water changes if you're raising young discus, that's for sure. They make a mess and need to be fed a lot. One thing I wanted to point out with these guys is for tank mates, make sure you don't put anything in that's like faster moving, like something that's gonna rush in front of them and steal all their food, because these guys they can get really shy around other fish often, and you don't want something out competing them for their food. So oftentimes people just have like bottom feeders and with them like plecos and stuff like that. So these guys, they're not too finicky of eaters, which is nice, because wild-caught discus definitely are finicky and usually only eat like live foods and stuff. But these guys, so far, I fed them some worms last night, some live worms, but this morning I was feeding them some of these tetracolor granules, and they actually seem to enjoy them quite a bit. I did realize I left one of these red-tail sharks in, which was not a good idea for his safety in case they had something. But I do want to point out that I got these from a customer that you know, these were all born into one tank, that they lived in their whole life, never had any sicknesses or any issues, and were bred by somebody that, you know, a customer. So it wasn't like getting a shipment in from some distributor or something where there's any chance they could have anything. But still, just to be safe, I highly recommend that you quarantine all new fish and make sure, you know, you don't let them contact any of your other fish for probably 2 to 4 weeks at least. maybe 4 to 6. But as I stated in the beginning of this, you know, I had to have a whole big tank's worth of fish. It's not just quarantining one fish, as you can see. And also, as these guys grow, obviously I can't keep this many discus in this size of tank, so I'm going to be moving them out to other tanks. And yeah. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little check-in. I should have another video coming out soon. I just wanted to do a quick little something of showing off these awesome little guys. Alright, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.